In this fascinating video, I briefly look back on the life and career of Herb Mckenley. Plus, I take you on a visit to the grave of his father, the grave of his mother, and finally, the grave of Herb Mckenley himself. I am Nigel D. Salmon. Welcome or welcome back to Jamaican Chapter. Herbert Henry Mckenley was born on Monday, July 10, 1922 in the community of Pleasant Valley in the parish of Clarendon. His parents were Alexander Mckenley, a medical doctor, and Zilpha Bell Manning. As a young boy, Mckenley grew up in the company of his sister Vioris Manning and brother Dudley Mckenley. In 1934, he began attending micro-practicing school in Kingston, and in 1937, he started at Calabar High School, a school where it was compulsory for all boys to be involved in sports. It was at Calabar his early involvement in sports seriously began. He represented Calabar at football and cricket, topping the bowling average in the Sunlight Cup competition and playing with distinction for the All Sunlight team. In 1938, a past student of Calabar visited the school. This was no ordinary past student. This was Arthur Wint. Arthur Wint's visit to Calabar in 1938 was like that of a celebrity. At the time, 1938, Arthur Wint was popular for excelling in track and field at boys' championships, excelling in long jump and swimming, popular for being the Class 3 champion boy athlete in 1937, and for winning a gold medal for the 800-meter race in the Central American and Caribbean Games in Panama in February 1938. So when the almost 18-year-old Arthur Wint visited Calabar in 1938, Herb Mckenley was impressed by his achievements as well as his smart way of dressing and his demeanor. Mckenley, from that day, was more motivated to focus on track and field. Herb Mckenley and Arthur Wint would become lifetime friends. Mckenley made his debut in the schoolboy athletic competition in 1938. His beginning saw more failures than victories. For example, during his first 4 years participating in boys' champs, he never won one race. However, he repeatedly made it to the top 3. In the first international meet in Jamaica in July of 1941, Mckenley won first place several times in the 100-meter and 200-meter. In fact, he won 5 times. He also won against Arthur Wint in the 200-meter. Herb Mckenley was the first Jamaican who was awarded an athletics scholarship to attend an American university. Acting on the scholarship, he enrolled in Boston College in 1942. There, he was a member on the Boston College Eagles track and field team. In 1945, he transferred to the University of Illinois, where he further developed on his athletic skills. Between 1946 and towards the mid-1950s, Herb Mckenley created records and made his mark as a sprint runner locally and overseas. In 1947, at Edwards Field in Berkeley, California, he set a world record when he ran a 46.3 mile. Mckenley became the first Jamaican to hold such record. For this outstanding feat, he received the award for Athlete of the Year for Central and South America. In 1948, the boy from Pleasant Valley, Clarendon, was then among the 13 competitors to represent Jamaica for the first time at the Olympic Games in London, England. 10 of the 13 competitors competed in athletics, and the other 3 competed in boxing and weightlifting. The 3 big names among the 10 Jamaican athletes were 25-year-old Herb Mckenley, 27-year-old Arthur Wint, and 21-year-old George Roden. The 1948 Summer Olympics were an international multi-sports event held from July 29 to August 14, 1948, inside Empire Stadium, London. Staged just 3 years after the devastating World War II, the Olympics was a refreshing entertainment. 85,000 spectators filled the stadium. King George VI, his wife Queen Elizabeth, King's mother Queen Mary, and other members of the royal family were in attendance. 59 countries in total participated. At the London Olympics, Mckenley set his mind on winning gold in the men's 400 meters. There were 6 men in the race, 2 of them Jamaican. Apart from Mckenley, the other Jamaican was Arthur Wint. Mckenley clearly knew the running capabilities of Arthur Wint, including the American Mal Whitfield. So this was a tough race, but Mckenley was determined to win the gold. The race began at the sound of the gun, and Mckenley took the lead. It appeared he would win, but towards the finishing line, Mckenley felt Arthur Wint closed in beside him, overtook him, and won the race in a record 46.2 seconds. Arthur Wint won gold. Mckenley, who finished second at 46.4 seconds, won the silver. At the end of the 1948 London Olympics game, Mckenley left with only silver. In 1950, Mckenley set a new record when he won the 200 meters in 20.9 seconds at the 6th Central American and Caribbean Games in Guatemala. At the same event, he defeated George Roden in the 400 meters. In 1951, at the White City Stadium in London, England, Mckenley set a new British all-comers record when he won the international 300 yards race in 30.3 seconds. He later won the international 100 yards dash in only 10 seconds. At the 1952 Olympic Games in Helsinki, Finland, Mckenley finished second place in both the 100 meters and 400 meters. Mckenley finally got the Olympic gold when the Jamaican relay team comprising Mckenley, Arthur Wint, Les Leng, and George Roden won the 4x400 meters race in a time of 3 minutes 3.9 seconds. Mckenley competed in many other track and field events and in some of them created records. In 1953, he signed a contract with Australia to compete in world professional sprint competitions. He commenced his 5-month professional tour in Australia from December 1953. He was paid a fee of $5,000 and £10 each week during such tour. He returned to Jamaica in 1954 and was appointed supervisor of athletics. That same year, his father, Dr. Alexander Givens Mckenley, died from cerebral thrombosis at age 83 in the community of Walderson in Manchester. Dr. Alexander Mckenley, who was considered one of the best known medical practitioners in Jamaica, died on November 10. So it's in loving memory of Dr. A.G. Mckenley, who died November 10, 1954, age 84. Kathleen Margaret. I just think she was beautiful. For some reason, I just think that Kathleen was beautiful. Beautiful and delicate. All right, it says, in loving memory of Kathleen Margaret, widow of Dr. A.G. Mckenley, who died November 8, 1955, age 71. She was the widow of Dr. A.G. Mckenley, who is buried right beside her. She went just a year after him and was buried right here. After his retirement from sports, Herb Mckenley worked in the insurance industry for many years. From 1954 to 1973, He was the national track and field coach of Jamaica. In December of 1964, he married Beverly Lewis. Mckenley fathered 5 children, 2 sons and 3 daughters. In 1970, his mother, Zilpha Manning, died at Medical Associates Hospital in Kingston after suffering a stroke for 6 hours. All right, so I am in Brixton Hill, Forepath, Clarendon, and I am where Herb Mckenley's mother is buried. And I am standing here in front of the church. This is the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Island, Brixton Hill. Okay, so we know, of course, that Zilpha Manning was Herb Mckenley's mother. I've already visited Herb Mckenley's father's grave there in Christiana, all the way back in Manchester. But here I am visiting Zilpha's grave, the mother. So Zilpha Mckenley, she was born in Pleasant Valley, Clarendon, on April 20, 1904, to mother Ellen Evans and father Robert Manning. She grew up and she gave birth to at least 3 children. Viroris Manning, who died at age 85 and was buried at Medaris in St. Catherine. She also gave birth to Herb Mckenley, of course. And she gave birth in 1925 to Dudley Roy Mckenley, who lived to be age 91. Dudley Mckenley was a politician in the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, from the late 1960s to the late 1980s. Yes, so many of you remember him as a politician. He died on Saturday, July 16, 2016. So here I'm standing in front of the resting place of the woman who gave birth to the talented Herb Mckenley. This is her grave here in Brixton Hill, Forepath, Clarendon. And let's get closer to her resting place here. And on her grave it says, "In loving memory of a devoted and darling mother, Zilpha B stand for Bell, Manning." That's Zilpha B. Manning. Died July 19, 1970, age 64. They have age 64 here, but according to her birth registration form, she was born in 1904. So if she died in 1970, then that would mean she was 66. I'm just going by the records I see. So below that is say, rest in peace, sadly missed by Dudley, Vi, and Herb. So this confirms that she had only 3 children. Dudley, Vioris, who is referred here as Vi, and Herb. I'm sure all of them were here when their mother was laid to rest back in 1970. So, but all of them are gone now, you know. So this is the grave of Zilpha B. Manning here in Brixton Hill, Footpath. The grave of the woman who gave birth to Herbert Henry Mckenley. All right, let's continue the story. From early in his life, Mckenley began receiving awards for his contributions to sports. Here are some of those awards and honors. In August of 1973, he received the Order of Distinction for his services in the field of sports. On August 1, 1988, he was awarded the Order of Jamaica. On July 20, 1989, Mckenley was, along with other sportsmen and women, inducted into the Jamaica Sports Hall of Fame. On October 17, 1991, Mckenley was awarded the Norman Washington Manley Foundation Award for Excellence. In 2004, Mckenley was honored with the key to the city, the capital of Jamaica, Kingston. On that same occasion, he helped unveil the sign to Herb Mckenley Drive, a road named in his honor. The road was previously called Roosevelt Avenue. On October 18, 2004, Mckenley received the Order of Merit from Governor General Sir Howard Cook. At this point of his life, he was Herbert Henry Mckenley, OD, CD, OM. Back in the year 1998, Herb Mckenley almost died when blood flow and oxygen supply to his heart muscle was impaired. Triple bypass surgery was performed on him and saved his life. 9 years later, the aged Mckenley was admitted at the University Hospital of the West Indies. It was in November of 2007. On November 26, 2007, Mckenley took his last breath in the race of life. He was age 85. The state funeral for Herbert Henry Mckenley was held on Saturday, December 8, 2007 at the National Arena in Kingston. Numerous individuals, including athletes and dignitaries, came out to show their respect. Among the mourners, to name a few, were Leslie Leng, one of Herb Mckenley's teammates on the historic 4x400 meter team, which won gold at the 1952 Olympic in Helsinki. Donald Query, former Jamaican track and field athlete. Usain Bolt, retired Jamaican sprinter. Dion Hemmings, first Jamaican female winner of an Olympic gold medal. And also there were politicians from the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. This is his grave here at the National Heroes Park. And on his grave, you'll see a beautiful epitaph. It says, "The Honorable Dr. Herbert Mckenley, OM, OJ, CD, LLD, born July 10, 1922, died November 26, 2007. And here it says, Olympian, patriot, coach, sports administrator and mentor, 400 meter silver medalist at the 1948 London Olympic Games, 100 meter and 400 meter silver medalist and 4x400 meter relay team gold medalist at the 1952 Helsinki Olympic Games. Having earned international respect as an Olympian, he continued to serve his country for over 4 decades as national track and field coach, 1954 to 1996. President of the Jamaica Amateur Athletics Association and director of the Institute of Sports Loved and respected locally and internationally, he was known as the coach of coaches. Greatly missed by his family and all Jamaicans. And down here it says, this donated by the office of the Prime Minister during the celebration of the 50th year of independence, unveiled on National Heroes Day, October 15, 2012. So this is the resting place of the Honorable Dr. Herbert Mckenley. But most of us just call him Herb Mckenley. Herb Mckenley. That's right. Outstanding Jamaican in the area of sports. Thanks for watching.